all you Splinterheads. Welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I'm Bronze Dragon, and I like to cover Splinterlands news on a several times a week basis. With that said, I wanted to jump on here and give you an update on Archmage. Let me say up front that I am not supported by Archmage. They don't give me any kickbacks whatsoever. I've just been using their service for a while, since midsummer. In fact, it was quite hard for me to get a token because at that time they were doing drops of a few at a time, and you had to basically dial in or basically be really quick in the browser to get one. Anyway, I did get one through the generosity of one of their devs, and I did have to pay him, but at that time they had given each of their devs a few, and they were able to do whatever they wanted with them. So one of the devs sold it to me directly. So with that said, I've been using it for a while, and I've been pretty happy with the service. Over the last few weeks, I have noticed that my win rate has went down. And that's interesting, seeing as how all I've been doing is just pumping money into my deck. And it's not huge amounts of money, but it's still a large amount of money for playing a game, right? But with that said, overall, I'm happy with the service because it gives me some, my account keeps earning every hour of the day. It earns a little bit, whereas beforehand, I played for like a year straight, and I would come home from work and I'm tired and I feel pressured into, getting my games done and everything like that. So now I just let it run and I play whenever I want to. So with that said up front, up to this point, I have a standard token. They have alpha, beta, and standard tokens. And the standard token rate, the fee you pay them is 35%. And that 35% came off of the chests and the SPS that dropped in chests and the SPS you got from matches, right? It didn't cover cards. It didn't cover, there's a lot of things it didn't cover, but they got their revenue basically from the SPS that you made with the bot, right? And depending upon which token, it escalated. The highest rate is 35% for a standard token. Anyway, that's been going on for a while now. And we'll run through this article really quickly, and I'll leave a link in the show notes. But basically what they're doing is to sum it up, they went in full force and they collected numbers. And basically they said, we knew that at some point we were going to reduce the fees involved, but we didn't want to go in low and have to increase rates down the road. Okay, and obviously everything else that's happened in the game lately has affected them lowering the rates as well. So, well, that's a misnomer because they're not really lowering the rates, but they are. Let's continue. So, just scrolling through their store, it starts off with a story as far as they put it into like they're writing a story about what's happening with the Archmage. And then they start off with a quick story of how they got there, which goes back to selling their alpha and beta tokens for $10 a piece. And they said they didn't even sell out of their alpha tokens up front. And this is more near the beginning of 2022. And it started to catch on, and you can read the white paper on their homepage, archmage.app. But after the release of the token, and people started paying for their service, because up to the release, basically the service was free for us. We were using it. It was free other than paying the $20 or $25 for the token, right? But there were some takeaways from the community, and they heard what everybody was saying. So obviously a good company is going to take into account what the public is, their community is saying about them. So number one, people were saying the fees were too high. And I saw on the boards a lot of people pulling back. They had bought the token, but they just didn't want to pay that 35%. And their fee structure, second takeaway was their fee structure didn't make sense for mixed play users. So in other words, if I went in and I started using Archmage, even if I used the Archmage just like 3 or 4 days of the season and then I played the rest, I was still paying that percentage at the end of the season in the season chests and things for the use of their service for the full season. So that didn't really make sense for mixed use players. And the last big takeaway was sharing of jackpots. So the other big thing, and I was concerned about this a little bit. It doesn't happen that often, but say for instance you get your season-ending chests, and one of them pops up, couple thousand SPS. You had to share that with them. So I mean, the argument on their side is, if you're using their I hesitate to call it a bot because they go away from that term, drawing a difference between their service and, bot farms, which are putting hundreds and thousands of bots, just spamming the blockchain all the time. Whereas this is more of a onesie twosie, like I've got one account. I've got 2 tokens. In the past, I've played 2 accounts, but I've switched over to using my secondary account for rentals right now, and it just didn't really pay off. But anyway, besides that, they heard the feedback. That's kind of getting off on a tangent, but they heard the feedback and they decided to update their billing system. So as I had said, here's their fee structure. Alphas pay 15%, betas pay 25%, and standard pass holders pay 35%. And the alpha and beta pass holders have also get drops and different things, because all along they've incentivized that. And those passes are still available, and you can buy them on the secondary market, but they're pretty pricey these days. So and as I said, all the other, besides the SPS drops, all the other prizes remained yours. So, their fees don't affect cards, packs, merits, potions, leader reward prizes, staked SPS earnings, brawls, licenses, pack bonuses. None of those are affected by their fee, right? They just like to get that very straight, because at some points it was, early on it was kind of a little bit unclear. So what's the change? Okay, so the change now is they're taking the season-ending chest out of the pot that they're drawing their percentage from. So after this season, they will no longer take their 15, 25, 35% cut out of the season-ending chests. So they also made another change, which that's a big thing. I mean, everybody's different, and as well as I do that these season-ending chests, some seasons you have a great season, some seasons it's completely off and you get very little, but that's the roll of the dice, right? Either way, they estimate that you're saving at least 15% through using their service as far as with this big change. Their fees are going to remain the same as far as what they're covering on a daily basis whenever you have matches played by Archmage. Well, they take their fee once a day. One of their roadmap items at the bottom of the page is that they would like to do it on a case-by-case basis, a match-by-match basis. They would like to do that. But that's down the road, and that's another thing that would have to be worked on by the Splinterlands team, which we know now has been decreased significantly. So who knows if that's ever going to happen. But they make their claim once per day. With that said, they lowered their price of the standard token from $25 to $20. Their point there was they had always intended the token to be $20 worth. They had priced it up front at $25 because that was more of a preloading of a fee for people to pay that extra $5 to use the service while the service was not charging them. Like I had said initially, I bought the token. I've been using it for several months, and there were several months there where we just didn't pay a fee. So like I had said, the other takeaways were that they would love to see, on a match by match basis. So you could jump in, play 5 matches yourself, and then turn the Archmage back on for another 15 matches while you go eat dinner or whatever the rest of the night, and it's just drawing fees for those and not for what you played. But that's down the road if it ever happens. Then they also note that these changes will be rolled out in time for them to be live for the current season. Therefore, Season 100 of Splinterlands and beyond will not require Archmage delegation for season chests. So that's really unclear with me because I don't know if it's Season 99 now or Season 100. I don't know how to tell that really. If anybody does, please drop a note in the comments. Either way, it's either going to take effect this season or the next coming season. So, and then they have another delegation statement here. Updates to delegations require an active key signature. Therefore, we cannot make this update for you. All accounts that were previously set up and delegated correctly will continue to function without any changes. However, if you want to take advantage of the updated delegation requirements, you'll need to remove any seasoned delegation from your account. You can do this starting now. I wanted to read that word for word. I didn't want to paraphrase that. So everybody who's using the service knows that you have to go in and do the delegation on the Archmage app .app setup page. Very easy to use. There's just going to be one of those sliders that you can turn off now. Okay. Now, there's a couple other notes unrelated to Archmage, but related to Splinterlands or directly related to Splinterlands that I wanted to get out there. The first one is that if you didn't catch it on the announcements, they are sunsetting the Steam Bridge and the Tron Bridge December 30th. So if you have any cards, if you have any packs, anything on Steam, you need to move those off now. And same with Tron. If you have any tokens, any kind of crypto on Tron, you need to move those into game now. That sunsets December 30th. You can see the Discord announcements, official announcements section in not Archmage, but under Splinterlands for the full announcement. The second announcement is that December 6th, which right now it's December 5th, so tomorrow there will be a downtime of 2 hours starting at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. The game will be down for about 2 hours. Obviously, with any scheduled maintenance, that's just a rough one. They're upgrading their database. So this is aimed at performance enhancements and improving security. So with that said, I would like to go ahead and end this video with a chest opening. I usually do these in shorts, but this morning, let's just go ahead and claim. I have 12 silver focus chests, and obviously it's early in the morning, and I forgot to log into my keychain. So I will do that. I made this mistake yesterday. By the way, I hope my audio has improved. I had an audio issue yesterday where I sounded like I was talking into a tin can. That's because I had changed my setup a little bit, and I had put a nicer USB hub, but it was still a USB hub in line with my mic, and the mic did not like the USB hub. Okay, let's open these silver chests, see what I got. I'm hoping to be in gold. I'm firmly in gold today, so tomorrow my chests will go back to gold. A little bit of splinter shards, a few commons. Unexciting. But with that said, thanks for stopping by. Please like and subscribe if you like this content, and I will see you on the flip side.